Hey, you going up this way? Okay. All right, go. In Southwest Florida, you're looking live at a spectacle that is. It's the Martin Luther King Day celebration. To get a real perspective of the crowd, our director, John, is giving you a panoramic scene in Centennial Park, downtown Fort Myers. Leap His Live is thrilled to be here. This is the first time a television show has actually come here to this grand event and settled in for an entire day, documenting what is taking place on a beautiful, cool day here in Southwest Florida. And Dr. King would be proud of the way things are taking place here. The youth are here and the adults are here on one accord. Right now, we have some legal minds here. We have County Judge Archie Hayward and renowned attorney Cedric Hall. Cedric, what is the name of your firm?
The Law Office of Cedric B. Hall.
Just pull that up. You don't drop your head. Pull your mic up. Right there.
Law
Okay.
Office of Cedric B. Hall.
Right. So I'm so thrilled to have both of you here because you guys, with your legal profession, have done such an outstanding job in moving the city of Fort Myers and Lee County forward and providing legal information. Recently, the Fort Myers Police Department passed a bill or something you would call it that allows the check the box to be taken off of application for jobs if you had some kind of background that might be checker. Can you explain what check the box is, Archie? You know, what was that?
Lee, I believe it was the city of Fort Myers, the mayor and the board decided that they would follow suit and pursue the fact that the box would no longer be required to be checked on employment applications.
Okay.
So that it would give the opportunity for the application to be reviewed without having the stigma of having a felony conviction checked on the box.
So essentially, people who paid their dues to society come back into society. They may have an opportunity to get employment and become law-abiding citizens and productive citizens. Cedric, speak to that.
Well, it give our citizens or some of those citizens that have made bad choices to actually interview and actually see their skill level and to see their rehabilitation. And it allows them to actually get in those interviews and actually see that person for who he is today and not who he was yesterday.
That's good. You guys sitting right here, you represent the spirit of Dr. Martin Luther King. To see young, professional, educated, giving back to the community. When you think about Dr. King and his mission and how it impacts your everyday living, what do you think about, Judge?
Well, I think that these are the opportunities that people fought and died for. Black, white, all races of people. We have come this far because of the struggles of the past, and we owe a debt of gratitude to take it forward and to continue the dream so that we can go forward and give our due respect for those who have paid the price.
What are some things that we can do that we are not doing that Dr. King would say, we did all this work and you guys are doing that right now? One of them is we're not voting like we should be, but go ahead.
You're so right. We need to stand up and be represented because it's important for us to be represented when it comes to voting. Voting means power, and power gives us a voice.
Cedric?
Yes, give us an opportunity to not only continue the dream, but also to help build the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. We as a people need to take advantage of voting now. We don't have a lot of things that's blocking our way. One of the things that may be a new issue coming up is getting convicted felons their rights restored. And I think that's one of the things that we have to do in order to secure those voting rights and also to secure the jury pool to allow them to serve on a jury.
So if you're not registered to vote, you can't be on the jury pool? Is that right? That what you?
No, that's not the fact. What happens is in order to be on the jury pool, they're using the driver's license record. And as long as you are registered to have a driver's license, you are part of the pool to become a juror.
You want to add something, Cedric?
That's correct. Judge is correct. Let me give you the full. And your rights have to be restored also. You cannot be a convicted felon and sit on a jury. Okay, and that's part of the problem.
Now, I'm not an expert on any of this. That's why I got you guys here. I hear all these. I think it's a civil rights bill was passed in like, was it 65 or 69? That was at the voting rights bill. Take some of those seminal bills that Dr. Martin Luther King was involved in that has made society a better place now that we have, that are laws on the books. Was it the voting for civil rights?
The right to vote, the civil rights bill gives all of the persons who are eligible the right to vote. But there are other acts as well that have given us certain rights, and those are very important, and we must stay a part of the voting public so that we utilize those rights.
Okay. Now, when we go to cases like, is it Brown versus the Board of Education or the Plessy versus Ferguson? I like to try that like I know stuff. All of those are seminal things cases that you guys study in law?
Well, those are major civil rights cases. Plessy versus Ferguson is a case that was ruled separate but equal. That allowed schools to have the separate but equal education access. Now, Brown versus the Board of Education overturned that law, and that was done with the help of Thurgood Marshall. He eventually became a Supreme Court justice, the first black to ever do so. These are laws that we have to continue to fight for. Brown versus the Board of Education give us access to education, give us access to an equal education, because education is an access to freedom. And that's something that you cannot take away from someone. Once they are educated, that's in their mind. You can't take that away. And we need equal education access.
Now, when we talk about Dr. King and the civil rights movement, and in a legal perspective, Dr. King wasn't a lawyer directly, doing legal stuff, but the big picture contributed to a lot of these things that we're talking about right now. Archie?
Yes, because he was not a lawyer, but there were lawyers that were involved in the movement that helped to formulate the program in which they put forth. So therefore, it took a lot of people to come to the table to join with Dr. King. Dr. King was the spokesperson for the movement, but there were a lot of people behind the scenes working to get this before the public.
What do we see now in terms of the legal profession? We know you're a judge, you're an attorney. Do we see minorities pursuing legal profession? If so, is that a good thing? The more we have in the legal fields, Cedric?
I believe that that's one of the areas where we need more representation of minorities. We had a wave of minority lawyers and educators, and now we need to continue that and to stay vigilant in getting more minorities involved in legal education.
Are we doing anything here locally? Are there any kind of outreach with the lawyers, the judges to talk to the students? Go ahead.
I'm going to mention the Isaac Anderson Bar Association. Judge Isaac Anderson was Lee County or the 20th Circuit first African-American judge. The local NBA chapter here is named after Isaac Anderson, and we have numerous activities in the community. We have legal forums. We give back to the community in November with the Thanksgiving baskets. Judge Hayward has been one of the founding members for a long time running, and he's actually helping us to continue the legacy of Dr. King and being excuse me, my loss of words, but we're being the forefront in the legal community for minorities.
In addition to that, Lee, I've also gone into the school system to different classrooms and different career services, and every time they've had a day where they had different careers, I've gone out and spoken to the youth. And I also spoke this morning at the Cape Coral Charter School MLK celebration that was at the Oasis High School, and it was very heartwarming to see that they had an auditorium full of people. It was almost to capacity.
Excellent. Final two questions. One for you, Archie. Judge Hayward. I don't keep up with all these terms, but aren't you coming up for re-election?
Yes.
Get you some plug in.
In 2016, every 6 years, each judge stands for election, and 2016 is my year for election. So I have applied, and I will be running again for my seat.
How can people get involved with your campaign?
They can contact the campaign committee at P.O. Box 447, Fort Myers, Florida 33902.
Doesn't sound like you got your website up yet.
Not a website, no, but the campaign committee is forming.
Okay, gotcha. Attorney Hall, final question. When you see what's taking place here in the park this morning, how does it make you feel?
It makes me feel good inside. Just made me want to continue the legacy of being a drum major for justice.
Okay. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on Leap Is Live, and just know that these microphones are drowning out all that noise. They hear us clearly, okay?
All right. Thank you, Lee. It's always a pleasure to be here.
All right, stay right there. As the saying goes on this particular show, for those who say it can't be done, they're usually interrupted by those like these fine legal minds who are doing it. Right here at the Martin Luther King Day celebration in Fort Myers, downtown, at Centennial Park on the River District. Leap Is Live is here. We'll be right back.
Is that cool? Hey, thank you for helping me out with round first supporters. I got